are some people who are fond of saying that it works for Mike Mentzer, it works for Casey Theater, it works for Ray Mentzer, but it works for no one else in the world. Or we all have vastly different requirements. And yet these same people all train alike. Arnold does 20 sets, 6 days a week. Franco does 20 sets, 6 days a week. Frank Zane does 20 sets, 6 days a week. If they're all so different, why do they train exactly alike? The point of the matter is we aren't all that different physiologically. We're all unique as individuals. But when a young man goes to medical school, or a young woman, and studies muscle physiology, whose physiology is he studying? Everybody. We all have the same muscle physiology. The biochemical changes leading to muscle growth in Mike Mentzer are the same in Robert Kennedy, Chris Lund, and you. And me. And it follows from that that the specific stimulus required to induce those biochemical changes leading to muscle growth in Robert Kennedy and you and me is the same. What is that stimulus? High-intensity muscular contraction. It's universal. It's a medical fact, not subject to debate. Simple as that. What is true, and this is where the confusion comes in, is that we all grow at different rates of speed. I might grow faster as a result of high-intensity training. But we all will grow faster when each of us trains more intensely. If you're not training, or if you're not gaining fast now, or if you're not gaining at all, you'll gain faster when you train more intensely. Chris Lund will gain more rapidly when he trains more intensely. He may not gain as rapidly as me, yet then again he may gain more rapidly than me.
Why is that though?
Because of innate adaptability. We all have different innate adaptabilities to exercise. Age, existing physical condition, motivation, a lot of different factors. But the underlying muscle physiology is the same. The people who say we all have different training requirements are entirely wrong. They're ignorant of the basic facts regarding muscle physiology. If we all had different physiologies, medical science could not exist. The doctor would have to study each individual as a separate physiological entity and then learn all the intricacies of his physiology and devise medicine around him. We could not have medical science. The very fact that they could take the basic principles of physiology and apply it to the whole human race is what makes medical science a viable discipline. Make sense? Sounds damn good to me. Any questions? I can't make it any simpler than that. I mean, all the theoretic and academic bullshit aside, I mean, it just follows from common sense. The harder you train, the faster you grow. But it's also true, you can't forget, that the harder you train, the less time you can spend training. Just like the faster you run, the less distance you can run. Sure, you can train as hard as possible for 30 minutes, then diminish the intensity and train for 8 hours after that. That's not going to result in anything except reduced progress. And it may be that you don't have to train with 100% intensity. It's never been proven conclusively that you have to train with 100% intensity to induce maximum growth stimulation. Maybe it's only 85%. But there is definitely a threshold of intensity you've got to pass beyond to stimulate muscular growth. There's a certain threshold called the threshold of intensity beyond which you have to go to stimulate growth. Maybe it's only 85%, but I ask you the question, how do you accurately measure 85% intensity? There's only two measurements of intensity you can measure accurately, 0% and 100%. When you're not exerting yourself at all, that's 0% intensity. But again, a lot of this can be chalked up to mental masturbation. All of the academics aside, what really counts is that you get your ass in the gym and train hard. And if you're training 6 to 8 hours a day, you're not training hard.